Hi, my name is Annie Polland. I'm the Vice President for Education here at the Lower East Side Tenement Museum. And I'm here today to talk about a new tour that we're offering called Exploring 97 Orchard Street. This tour is a little bit different because we treat the building as the subject. We explore the biography of this building and we look at when changes were made, how changes were made, and we do that by looking at the surface of the building, the different layers of the building. When you come on the tour, you'll be handed a flashlight, you'll be handed a set of clues, and we'll go on a process of discovery to find out how the building changed. And we'll also try to look at some of the mysteries that are still left behind about this building. So we're here in the laboratory of layers. This is what we call a ruin apartment at the Tenement Museum, and essentially this is what the apartments look like when the founders of the museum, Ruth Abram and Anita Jacobson, came and entered the building and went to the upstairs apartments. So what you see are layers of wallpaper, layers of paint, and one thing that's really important to point out is what the immigrants themselves lived here. It didn't look like this. So when you're looking at these darkened colors, you want to try to imagine bright colors, bright hues, gorgeous patterns. There's a wonderful memoir from 1918 by a girl named Rose Cohen. She talks about arriving to America as a girl and meeting her father who had come previously, and she comes to his apartment, his tenement apartment, and is overwhelmed by what she called the Peacock Blue walls. This color was so impressive to the new immigrants, and they wanted to keep their apartments like that. So even though now it looks terrible and it's decay, it's so important to kind of visualize what these rooms look like when the immigrants themselves lived here. Now, the rooms serve an important purpose. Again, they show you what it looked like when the founders came, and they also are helpful to artisans and different specialists that we bring in to study the building. And we call it a laboratory of layers because of the layers, but also because our study of the layers helps us date changes that were made to the building. Wallpaper is really, really fascinating. What we have here is a section of wallpaper that was removed for study. It was removed by a specialist named Reba Fishman-Snyder. And she came to many of these apartments and took samples about this size so that she could study the layers of wallpaper. And there were over 20 layers of wallpaper in most of these apartments. And what we've done is we've taken this patch, we've studied the layers that were here, and we created a book, kind of like a flip book, that lets us go backwards. So this is layer one. We call layer one the first layer, and you can see that here, or here. So this is what the wallpaper looked like. Probably was put in the early 30s, 1933, 34, before the last family moved out. And you keep going, and what becomes really interesting is you see how floral patterns really dominate most of the time period that the immigrants are living here and the place is occupied. And this is a kind of a major theme of this tour, is that we can't base our understanding of history, our understanding of building codes simply on the law. You really have to know what the laws are, but really study the building, because it's only in studying the building that you see what happened, when it happened, and how it happened. And it's by studying these layers that we get insight, and we gain insight on that process.